Good evening. Good evening. It's such a pleasure to be with you once again. One of the most unique experiences I've had here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network is that I grow and develop. And every day I come in here, it's a new experience. When I first came in here, my spine used to tingle when I rubbed shoulders with Amy Goodman. Because, you know, Amy Goodman is a West Sider. And I used to rub shoulders with Robin Bird. At one time, when I was short of a crew, she supplied me with a crew of people because my regular people didn't show up. And, of course, Joe Franklin continuously is a great resource to all of us. Two gentlemen. Oh, I want to say one thing. Everyone down here is unique. It's a unique creation of God. I'm not trying to be over religious. I'm just being observant. They're all unique. There is only one of them on the planet Earth, and they're all just precious in each individual way. And now, tonight, I have two splendid guests, Mr. Danny Darrow and Mr. Arthur English. And the first question I want to ask them is a little about their background. Give us a little thumbnail sketch of your background. And how did you come to discover Manhattan Neighborhood Network? Danny?
Well, I'm an Upper West Sider, and I was sent here by Joe Franklin, and quite some time ago, about 2 years ago, one of my cuts from one of my albums, Frank Mendez remixed it, and a song called Doomsday, and it hit the top of the charts in the dance clubs 2.5 years ago. And Joe kept pushing me and said, "Danny, you gotta get your own show. You gotta come over there and to M&N." And so here I am, Josh. I'm sitting next to you, and I've got my own special now, my own show, and which is all over, and I love it here. It's fun. It's great, and here we are.
And Arthur?
Well, I wouldn't be here without my particular heroine. Her name is Gloria Mess, and we all know her very well. And
That's
she
right.
basically has been a teacher and an icon and someone I look up to, admire, and would like to follow in her footsteps to become a director. And the innuendos of being able to do this at M&N is just, and free, is just supplemental to my career, which was always being around the film business, live television.
Yeah, it's amazing what goes on there, because we all have to do a lot of juggling and dealing with a very difficult, complex society where it isn't always easy to even pay your rent or even to stay in the apartment you want to stay in. I mean, we all do this tremendous amount of juggling. I mean, how do you, Danny and Arthur, how do you deal with the dichotomy of this dysfunctional society? I mean, how do you go day by day, month by month, surviving in this chaotic system?
Well, first of all, I have to, since I'm a senior, I got to rely on my Social Security. I got to rely on, a movie. Sometimes I get a movie contract, and I get residuals, from Disney and from Fox and so on and so forth, from other films, and it's you keep going. This is how we all have to survive, and we're all New Yorkers, and we're pretty hardy, and so we do it, Josh.
Yeah, and Arthur?
Well, I believe that for me, the my philosophy is to teach and to learn, and to be around creative people, because that's fun. And this is sort of, has always been sort of a sanctuary, whereby instantly you come in here and you can use your hands, you can use your mind, you can use your soul, you can create in the moment. And it's really Mecca for those of us who want to be able to express our ways, our ideas, our philosophies, our spiritual aspects. And where else can we do it but here? It just is unchaotic as far as I'm concerned, and it's really a bedrock of creativity.
Yeah. This morning I had a quick bite with Mr. Galabert, who is a dancer and a teacher of movement, and owns an art gallery on the corner of 86th and near Broadway. I think I introduced him to Gloria, and Gloria may eventually have him on active aging. I hope she does. But Mr. Galabert said something which tells the whole story about the reality of our society. He says, Josh, there's about 24 or 36 dancers we all know. They make a living. There may be up to hundreds of thousands of very talented, gifted performers and dancers who we've never heard of, who don't make a living. Most of them are on food stamps. He says he's lucky to have been one of the ones that made a living. He made it in Spain, and so on. So to continue, Danny and Arthur, you've both come down here, and you're already doing a show. Tell us about your show, Danny.
Well, it's a Danny Darrow special. It's a variety show, and it's vocals from my albums, and it's a scripted show where I have an anchor. His name is Danny Dennis. He's an Obie winner. He did over 300 commercials.
Wow.
And he used to be Sam Breakstone on television, and he's my anchor. And we do skits. The last skit that I did was the greatest golfer in the entire world, Panther Irons. And why is his name Panther Irons? Because they don't make woods anymore, only irons. And Danny, of course, was Panther Irons, and it's a great skit, and everybody can tune in, and they can watch the show on cable, and they can watch it on the internet, and they can watch it all over. Just tap in to anywhere, Facebook or whatever it is, and they can just see it under Danny Darrow. And I'm working on my next show now, which is the Danny Darrow Show, and I have another a skit that we do with Danny Dennis, and then I have guests on. My last show was with Marilyn Dobrin, and she has a new film coming out with Al Pacino, The Son That No One Knows, in 2011. And Marilyn and I have been in a lot of movies together, and she's a sweetheart of a guest, and I don't know, just got to watch it and see. But it's a high energy variety show, which is comprised of vocals and comedy and skits and interviews and I happen to think it's a great show. I mean, since I produced it myself. So, yeah.
Danny, you started in vaudeville.
Yeah, I started in
vaudeville. You used to even work with Red Fox. Remember him, folks?
Yeah, Red Fox. Well, I made a very big mistake with Red Fox when we were in Las Vegas. We went to the same tailor, and Red bought a gray tuxedo, and I bought a blue tuxedo. And after I left there and put my blue tuxedo on, I said to myself, I should have gotten his gray tuxedo because it looked a lot nicer, especially on him. And I used to open for Don Rickles in Las Vegas, and I used to perform with Red Norvo.
Wow.
Red Norville. And,
Xylophone.
yeah, and Jerry Van Dyke, and I used to do shows with Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, and a lot of the big major bands in Chicago from the Merchandise Mart live with 30-piece bands, 20-piece bands, you know, staff orchestras, and everything was live in those days. And we used to, I used to be on a show called Coast to Coast Modern, which was all over the entire world. And then I was on NBC every day on the Howard Miller Show with June Valley many years ago, like 50 years ago. You're going back a long time, Josh. And yeah, I've been around a lot, and I did a lot of shows, and here I am. I'm still alive. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and you're also an outstanding photographer. You did a lot of headshots.
Yeah, I used to work for Playboy, and I never did the nudes though. You know, I only did the bathing suits and things like that.
Well,
but I did a lot of actors and actresses and theater companies, and you know, I did that for many years also.
you know, I want to say one thing about nude. Just before we got here, there was one producer who did his entire show in the nude. But I'll tell you, when you watched him, you became an admirer of the beauty of one of God's greatest creation, the human body. I don't know where that producer is now, but I'll tell you, his show was so beautiful. The last thing you would classify it as would be erotic. Now, Arthur, you've also done shows. You interviewed my favorite person, Gloria Mess. And I remember watching that show and Gloria's experience with the elephants. You remember that? Tell us a little about that.
Well, Gloria is very special. She's one of my best friends. And what's fascinating about Gloria is Gloria, when you get to know her, she reveals many different levels and layers of her experience and her talent and her business acumen and the creativity that she's used in order to create projects. And she really was in charge of so many projects. I think the most outstanding thing that I ever saw was one day I went into Tavern on the Green with her. And she said, well, let's go to the Tavern on the Green. I said, I'd love to. And as I walked into Tavern on the Green, I said, gee, Gloria, isn't this wall beautiful? She said, yeah, I picked it up. Mm-hmm. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, that chandelier? And it went on, the chandelier and the door and the thing and then I never knew that about Gloria. Then when we talked, I never knew that she was in set construction and show and basically show and convention pieces. I never knew about that. I never knew that she put together this wonderful zoo in New Jersey. I just didn't know that she's done 3,000 films here, and she edits all the time. She teaches. Yeah. So what's interesting, if she only will let you know what she needs, what you find out it's exploring, and that's one of the things I find amazing. We're all in the home stretch of our life. And what's exciting about being in the home stretch is that people tell you so many fabulous stories about their life, who they've met, the icons from that 12-inch tube all the way to working with them, like Danny. From seeing Don Rickles on the couch with I was going to say Jack Parr, but I'm talking about John Carson, to suddenly telling me that he's worked on the same stage, or he's worked with him, or he mentioned the other day that he had $20 in his pocket, and the other gentleman that had $20 was Kirk Douglas. Mm. I mean, you say, and he saw him as a guy that was trying to make a few cents, but we see Kirk Douglas as this 12-inch hero. And what I really admire is that I said the home stretch is because a lot of people have gone to Mount Everest. And you know, everyone has a different story coming back. For some people it was easy, for some people it was painful, for some people it was such a joy. But everyone has their own unique story, and in our particular life, we all have our unique pathways.
Indeed.
We've been to the land of Oz. We've been to television. We've been to shows. We've been on Broadway. We've been to the bill collector. We've been to the Social Security Agency. But we share these stories. And all of us can listen because we're learning from each other what we as humans go through on a day-to-day basis without the lights and without the cameras and without the Las Vegas and without those icons. We're doing it one step at a time.
Yep.
You know what I wanted to ask you about, Arthur, because you were in advertising, promotion, and so on. And Richard Guerrero brought this to my mind. He's a very talented actor who did, you know, he kept doing character roles that he got tired and sick and tired of doing it. And he used the expression that we hear very often, corporate America chews you up and spits you out. What does that mean to you? And how have you experienced that?
Well, I've worked with thousands of corporate executives, and I've worked with thousands of creative people. And one of the things that was wonderful in the world that I was in of advertising is that we worked in clusters of creative groups. And we were the creative ones. And then this cluster over here was what we call the suits. And there was always someone between us and the creative people. I never, ever felt that with 30 years of being in the business, that somebody was after my head. Because the elegance of this creative team, working with the elegance of this account team, we made it, they had to sell it, they had to sell it, and we're all dependent on each other. That advertising creatively, not Wall Street, not finance, and not even show business. The advertising world taught me that you have to work in a hierarchical society. And you just have to go through the system. If you go through the system and work with people and don't finger point, make other people wrong, and do your job and be enthusiastic, and really always a listener and a teacher, and be kind with class, because everyone around you wants to learn this business called filmmaking and live television, and their rent, their rent is what's at stake here. It's not what happens going out to the temple. We are all together pulling for our rent.
Indeed.
Whether it be Westchester or West 88th Street. So I found today it's different. Corporate America is very different than it was from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Danny Darrow, I'm going to ask you the big question.
Oh, my God. All right, now don't scare me now,
Josh.
Josh.
Question.
Okay.
How can we improve ourselves here at M&N and make it better? What are your peeves here, and what do you think we should work on to make this a more effective community operation?
Well, we're all here to help each other. We all help each other, you know, for our shows and everything else. Like Gloria Mess is directing your show and producing your show right now. I think she does mine too. Yes. And she edits my shows as well, and we all chip in, and we really help, you know, produce everyone's shows. Whenever they call us, we all do camera work, we all do control room work. We're all trained over here by M&N, and we just give our all and give our best, and you know, try to do the best we can for everyone, and it's like a brotherhood. And it's wonderful. It's a big family, and that's what we do to help each other. I think it's wonderful.
Well, Amy, talking about Amy, she came up with one statistic which was really very powerful. She said every U.S. Marine in Afghanistan costs us $1 million annually. So if Obama sent home 40 Marines home, that would be $40 million, and that would solve Governor Cuomo. I think he is in a Como. That's why I mispronounced it. He is in a Como when he wants to attack Medicaid and a few other things, education. He is in a Como. That would solve Cuomo's problem with getting the financial increases for state employees who also have families. And so that's what we... Arthur, what are your feelings about M&N? How can we improve at M&N?
I think we all help each other day by day. And I think the fact that Danny and I have never been on the same side of you, and we didn't know if we were going to be working together with Gloria. We didn't know, and now what a surprise it is for all of us to be working together. And the beauty of this is that we're placed here to learn and teach from each other. Now at M&N, we bring our own individual style, our taste level, and we learn from everybody. And each of us have a different ingredient to add to the pot, and that's what makes this very exciting. Whether or not you've done 1,000 commercials or 1,000 shows, or you've let in for Tarzan or Johnny Carson, it doesn't matter. When you're at our particular age, it's not. It's a wonderful way to enjoy our life, sharing, giving, teaching, receiving, and we feel functional. We want to function, and our maturity really works in this place. So for us, and for myself, it's. I come here and I'm always going to learn something. I'm always going to learn, and I'm always going to teach something, you know.
Mm-hmm. I know in the 50s I had a redneck college professor, Professor Caparelli, and he was an ultra-conservative and so on. But I came to a realization when I was studying with him that he was a very good teacher, because there are many, many teachers that hit the nail on the head. Like there's one professor, I think he was on this morning. I listen to him, he puts me to sleep. Mm-hmm. Professor Caparelli never put you to sleep. He was stimulating even when he was 100% wrong. And I think that's the secret of M&N. We have many people, I mean, like Tommy, I listen to Tommy. Tommy says, marriage is between a man and a woman. Who cares what he says? But Tommy is stimulating. He's different. And when somebody is stimulating, when a program, it gets you to think. It gets you to create your own perspective and your own ideas. So even if somebody can be a left-winger who you agree with, if he puts you to sleep, that's not a good situation. It's more important to be stimulating, like Professor Caparelli was. Mm. How do you feel about that, Danny?
I never met Professor Caparelli. And I don't even feel stimulated by him since I never met him.
Yeah.
And, so
well,
so I wish him well. I wish him luck. And
no, I think, but what I'm saying is be interesting, be stimulating, and even if you're wrong, people will swing with it because it will be provocative and create action and motion in the ocean, you know?
Well, that's what we need, a lot of action and motion in this place. It'd be wonderful. And that's why we really help each other. You know, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Which is good, which is really great. Getting back to Gloria at Tavern on the Green, my last show was at Tavern on the Green. I had a show, Salute to Frank Sinatra, The Man and His Music.
Wow!
And that was the last show in Tavern on the Green. And then of course Warner Leroy, passed on. He died, and I think the daughter didn't want to have any more shows, so they had like dinner music and stuff like that. But that was in the jazz room. In the green room, where it sat 188 people, and it was mopped when I was there. It was a beautiful place. I mean, Gloria did a fantastic job with that place. It's just beautiful with all the Tiffany glass and the Tiffany shades and the Tiffany everything over there. It was really a beautiful, gorgeous place, and we're really sorry to lose it. And
Trump's coming. Trump's going to manage it.
Yeah, you have to get back there and do a show.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have an M&N party there.
Well, an M&M party, wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be exciting. I can just see Gloria in her dress coming there.
Yeah.
And so on.
Yeah.
And
Could be a
and
beautiful.
Paula Gloria, whichever way she comes there.
yeah. No, but Gloria Messer did she did the construction and everything else. It was really beautiful.
Shows
Did a
it.
great job. And she of course she does a great job here. You know, helping us, direct and edit and everything. And she's a fabulous woman.
Fabulous. Great friend.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. There are times when you wonder why that person that's around you is being treated with such respect from Gloria, when you just don't even like this person. And then you watch her and you see how patient she is with that person, and you say, what do I have to learn from Gloria? And she says, privately, everybody must learn and practice. When they're here, if they're nice people, they want to learn, teach them. And that's all she says about it. She doesn't pontificate.
Yeah.
She doesn't preach. She said, if they hear, the opportunity's here, that's how they're going to learn. And you go, oh my God, what wisdom. So
Yeah, Gloria is just a wonderful person, and I can understand why she supported Perot. I understood, I can understand why she does so much, so well, and helps everybody. She's a wonderful gift to the community, and she keeps herself busy, and she keeps everyone else busy. And maybe a little dizzy, too.
we have 90 seconds. I just want to say something to you, Josh. It's been really a pleasure.
Yeah.
Really a pleasure to be with you.
How many minutes do I have?
A minute and a half. You have a
minute and a half. I'm going to ask you about your life
story. A minute
story.
and 10 seconds. Josh, 1:10.
Well, I had a very, very interesting life. I used to have dinner as a 9-year-old boy with Fiorello LaGuardia.
Oh, my goodness.
Even as a kid, even though I was 9 years old, one thing he used to say, which was always profound, which more people should say, used to say, when I make a mistake, it's a beaut, and so on. Now imagine Giuliani saying, when I make a mistake, he's a beaut. And I can just hear LaGuardia saying, Rudy, your entire life is a mistake, and I don't know if it's a beaut. but anyway, it's been so good being with you. This has been the Josh Volinski Show, and it's going to get better and better and better. And maybe I'll learn Final Cut Pro. I need a pro to help me with Final Cut Pro. I think that's Gloria is the candidate.
Yeah, Gloria Mess does everything. She does everything, yeah.
Thanks, Josh. This is beautiful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Wonderful show. Best host.